know, this is Phil Misk for Sub Bass Academy with another Ableton Live 9 look-in. Now, this time I'm going to detail one of the most talked about features in Ableton Live 9, which is the audio to MIDI function. Now, this is something that really turned heads at the Ableton Live 9 launch, and you can really see why. Some other third-party plugins and sequencers did implement it previously to this, but nothing came close to the way that Ableton Live 9 did. We can just see, let's go for a quick run through. Let's take a drum loop. Now we can see the drum loop here. You know, sometimes you'll have a drum loop or you'll hear a part of a song that you really like the drums in, but you're going to augment it. You want to take that pattern, you might want to beef it up with an extra kick, snare, and take the movement from it. So I'm going to right click on the sample here and click Convert Drums to New MIDI Track. So it takes a few seconds to analyze, and it's made a new drum rack here. Now what it does with the drum rack is it loads in some sounds that it thinks will be kind of close to give you the idea of the original drum loop, but of course you can change that for any amount of different drum samples or a different drum kit entirely if you want. So let's hear what we've done here. Not too bad. Let's get rid of some of these extra snare beats. Not bad. So, like I said, you could, put effects on the whole thing, change it entirely, get a new drum rack. You get the idea anyway. It's a really powerful thing that you can just, it's a new way to really sample. You can actually lift ideas from different songs without actually having to lift the sound from that song. You can take the shuffle from a beat, you can take the melody and the harmony from different parts too, which I'll show you now. Let's say we'll take harmony from just a bunch of MP3s if we can. So let's just go into my Finder. My favorite track of all time. There we go. Brings it back. So let's see. We've got a section here. Now you want to make sure it's warping properly before you actually do this, because it will bring in the native tempo of the song. Yeah, it looks about right. Right click, and we want to take the harmony from this, so that's the chords. So once again, it's a new way to sample audio. We don't want to actually use this sample here because it's quite clearly from that 808 State, Pacific State track. We just want to use the chords, which are quite nice jazzy chords for inspiration. So I've just deleted the original there, and let's hear what Ableton's come up with. Okay, so you can see it's a little bit off in the timing, so I'm just going to select all by clicking Command and A or Control A on the PC, and Command and U, which will quantize. So you can see that's really quite a powerful part to have of your arsenal. The options are limitless. Like, if you may not be great at playing in piano riffs, you might not, be able to play in time with stuff, but I'm sure you can hum things, and you might be a little out of tune, but it lets you fix that. So let's make a new audio track with Command and T. Now I'm going to embarrass myself here just for the good of you lovely listeners, and record myself singing a riff to go on top of those chords. So you can be guaranteed this will not be a hit, but just persevere. Bum 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 Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. So let's have a listen to that.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Look, don't be jealous. I know I've got skills, mad skills. So let's have a right click on this, convert melody to new MIDI track. Now, I definitely heard a couple of flat notes in there, and there's definitely some timing issues. So let's see what Ableton's come up with. I wouldn't wish that task on my worst enemy. So once again, it's not too bad. Command and A, Command and U, just to whip things into shape with a quick quantize. And I'll triplicate these notes. So you can hear it was a reasonable approximation, and it's gotten me well on the way to having the bass line that I want in there. Now, like we showed previously in the browser section, I could just go up to instruments, into my bass, or I could do a search up here for bass, and it'll show me all the instruments that I have bass patches in. So by clicking on them here in the browser, I can preview them again, as you remember. Let's load that in right here. So within a couple of minutes, by lifting a rhythm section from a loop that we had in our library, by lifting jazz chords from a song we really liked, and by humming in a bass line that just came to mind, you've already got the start of a nice little kind of chilled out track right there. Obviously it's in no way near finished, but it's just such a great launch pad to use. You don't even need a keyboard. I didn't use a MIDI controller once there, and we've already got all our harmony, all our melody, and the start of our beats right in there. So you can really see how powerful that is when it's put into action. So thanks very much for sticking around, and there'll be more live look-ins coming up soon.